It's a lovely good afternoon, and we are broadcasting live from here in our studios. That's in our IBEX, in our very own studios, and we apologize for bringing the show a bit late. We had some technical errors somewhere, but anyway, we still proceed with the show, and I'm your host, Amos, aka Amore, and I'm not alone as always. I'm joined by Augustine. Augustine, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Amos. It's always a pleasure to be here. We always thank the Lord Almighty for the gift of life and good health. We're looking forward to nothing but the very best of the show and giving the fans out, the viewers out there, all the information that we can give them.
We again we apologize for Ango Rapson, who hasn't made it to the show because he's on an assignment to cover the Nkana versus Pyramids, or the Pyramids versus Nkana game. He's going to be there giving us whatever is going to be taking place. But all in all, we said let's go ahead and give our viewers the best information in terms of sports, and this is nothing but off the pitch. And to those who can't access us, that's on TV, you can also access us that's on Facebook. Just follow our Facebook page, like it, and you'll be able to watch us live from there. Augustine, quite an interesting week that we've had, but first and foremost, before we get into the exciting, juicy things, let's look at the exclusion of Emmanuel Chabula, which brought a lot of chaos on social media.
I think it was long coming. I think if you look at Emmanuel Chabula's form in the league, I think he's been poor. We have played 20 games in the league. He has scored 2 goals. I think that's not the kind of return you expect for a national team striker. There are a lot of strikers in the Zambian Super League who are doing better. And maybe to me, the likes of Roger Kola could have been given a look in because they have been scoring the goals. Emmanuel Chabula's form has been poor for Lusaka Dynamos. We saw his performance at the Chan. It was poor as well. I think it was long coming, this exclusion of him from the 33 provisional man squad.
Yeah, we're just setting up the ball rolling because we are trying to look at the provision squad that Michu selected in terms of the inclusions and exclusions that are there. So my director upstairs, if you're able to display for us the provisional squad that Michu selected for the games that are upcoming. So Augustine, those are the games, or that's the squad that Michu selected.
I think big returns in this national team. We've seen the goalkeeper, Alan Chiwe. He retains his place in Cyril Chiwe. I think Mwenya Chiwe has been someone the Zambian fans have been calling out for Michu to include in his team, and he has done that. He's one guy who we can depend on since we do not have Kennedy Mwene. He's the guy going forward for Chipolo Polo, and in that defense, it's good to see that Michu has returned Kabaso Chongo. We need experience in these 2 big games, I must say, and we've seen the likes of Zakaria Chilongoshi had a decent performance at the Chan, and we've seen players like Luka Banda, another one who had a very, very good outing at the Chan, and Clement Mwape. We've seen the return of Tandi Mwape. Although he won't play the game against Algeria, he's out suspended because he picked up 2 yellow cards. In central midfield, big call-up, Nathan Sinkala. I think we needed someone who is calm on the ball and who is going to dictate play for Chipolo Polo. And Nathan Sinkala is a cool, calm, collected guy, AFCON winner. We can see Michu swallow this pride and record Cletus Chamachota. Yeah, very, very good inclusion into the team. You can see there's a lot of creativity in that midfield. If a striker cannot score with those midfielders on show, Spencer Sautu, Rally Warrior, Inoki Mwepu. I think this is probably Zambia's finest, Klings Kangwa. What more can you ask for as a striker? And he has gone with a lot of strikers. I don't know how many will start for Michu's 2 games against Algeria and Zimbabwe. Probably Patson Daka is someone who is always in that starting 11. Maybe he may partner Evans Kangwa. Maybe he may partner Fashion Sakala. Will Fashion Sakala be played down the middle? That remains to be seen. Because now, if you look at the number of midfielders he has scored, probably we'll go with 3 midfielders and the 3 strikers. That's the best Michu can come up with. It's a very, very good side, I must say. Players that have been performing players that have been scoring goals for their clubs. It's very, very good to see Brian Miller back in the team. He scored the last time we played Algeria at the National Hero Stadium. He scored the brace. Maybe he has had a very good return into the Super League for Buildcon. He's got six goals in 7 games. That's very, very good for a striker in Brian Miller. All in all, Micho has picked a very, very strong squad.
And maybe to make it a bit okay for our viewers, you can also call in and contribute in terms of what you think concerning the provision squad that Micho has selected. Do you feel like there are exclusions that he's left out, and maybe there are inclusions that you feel like he has to add on to that squad?
And the news that we've just gotten a couple of minutes ago, Abraham Siankombo of Sensational Zanaco, his first season in the Super League, he has scored 7 goals from the 20 matches that have been played, and he has been included in the national team as he was the late call-up to Micho's squad. It's very, very good to see the youngster. He may not go there and play, but it's just good for him, for his development. He's the next big thing in Zambian football. You can see he's fearless, he's quick, he's very, very direct, very skillful young lad. He's been added. It's something which we saw Micho give to... Is it Sabobo?
Sabobo.
Yeah, he gave the young lad chance to be part of the setup, to just have a feel how it is in camp at the senior national soccer team. And Abraham Ziangombo of Sensation Zanako has been added to that team.
Let's look at people. You know, it seems the fans don't tend to appreciate. We've seen again they are crying to say, why did he exclude Kalava and Kennedy Mwene? Because they feel like we need those two in terms of where professional is concerned.
Yeah, but if you look at Kennedy, he hasn't been playing for Mamelodi Sundowns. I think his form is down. He has got the experience, yes, but we cannot come and just throw him in such big games. When last did he play for Chipolo Polo? It's a risk which Micho cannot take at this point in time. He has got players who have at least played together in the last two or 3 years, but if you look at the goalkeeping situation, I think Mwenyachiwe probably is our safe pair of hands. Maybe that's the reason why Mwene couldn't be added. Renford Kalava, I do not think we need Renford Kalava in that central midfield. I think we've got enough creativity and enough legs in that central midfield. Yes, Kalava is a legend of Zambian football. He's contributed a lot, but at this point in time, I think it's better to go with these youngsters. They may not qualify, but they will learn something going into the Qatar 2022 qualifications.
So, like, put yourself in Micho's shoes, sorry. How would you arrange the squad, and which squad would you go for? What would be your best 11? My
best 11, looking at the situation in our first game against Algeria, we do not have Tandy Mwape because he's suspended. Okay. So I think I would go with Mwenyachiwe in goal. He would be my preferred goalkeeper. At right back, I would go with Benedict Chepeshi. He's had a very good season with Arrows. We saw Micho at the Chan. He opted to go with Clement Mwape, which didn't go down well for Chipolo Polo boys because Clement Mwape never added anything in attack. Yes, defending, and he did not defend very well because he's not comfortable playing on the right. That's not his preferred position. His preferred position is a centre half. I think I would go with Benedict Chepeshi at the right. Left back, maybe Zakaria Chilongoshi or Lodrick Kawe, because Lodrick Kawe can play as a left back. Yeah, if we're going to need the experience of Lodrick Kawe, he's played in such big games. He might be that guy who would be cool come for these big occasions, because we saw Zakaria Chilongoshi too excited when we played Morocco. Got himself sent off. Yeah, that was very, very poor. But he's a very good defending, attacking fullback. If we are going to attack these games, maybe we may go with Zakaria Chilongoshi. Centre back, probably we need Kavaso Chongo. He's cool, calm and collected. We need him at the heart of defense. Maybe partnering Luka Banda, who has had a very good season with Napsa Stars and is playing well in continental football. He has gotten that exposure and experience of playing at this highest level. Central midfield, that's where now we've got a lot of players to pick from. Yes, central midfield, I think I would go with Nathan Sinkala, who's more calm on the ball. He can dictate the tempo of the game. He's someone who would recycle the ball for Chipolo Polo boys. Maybe that's the guy we need in these big games, because we are going to play a very, very good Algerian side, African Cup champions. We may need Sinkala. He's played those big games before. You would calm the boys down and try and dictate play. in front of him, I would play two of Enoch Mwepu and Cletus Chamachota, because when you are playing Enoch Mwepu and Cletus Chamachota, you are assured of creativity. They would pick a pass in the final third and they would even score goals themselves. Enoch Mwepu can play box-to-box midfielder, has got loads of energy. Front three, I would go with Fashion Sakala on the left. He has been doing very, very well in Belgium. On the right, I would play Augustine Mulenga. He's
doing very well at Amazulu.
And he has got the pace to run in behind defenders. And Patson Daka, you can see by the front three that I think should go into the game against Algeria. They've got the speed, they've got the skill and the strength, because in this game we might not get 10, 12 chances. It would be very, very tight.
Yeah.
Now Algeria would deny us space. They won't allow us to get through their defense easily and get into the final third. They'll defend for their lives. They're very, very organized, very, very tactically disciplined, with Mandi at the heart of defense, one of the best center backs Africa has. So we will need players who are quick and players who are intelligent to try and make the runs in behind, because we will probably not see a lot of possession. So we may need to rely on balls being played behind the defense for us to open up that Algerian team.
Do we need Collins Kombe, because he's been on very, very good form? Looking at the games that we've played so far, I think he's been on high performance. Would you just keep him as a game changer? Yeah,
he may be that guy who will come from the bench and try and change the dimension of Chipolo Polo going forward into this game. We also have Radi Walia who can come in and play that number 10 role. It's very, very interesting with Sikombe. He contributes with goals and assists. He may be that guy who will just keep on the bench. If things don't go well, or maybe the coach wants to attack the game in a different way, Collins Sikombe may be the guy.
We're just looking at the provision squad that Micho selected, and Augustine was just giving his best 11, the best 11 he would select for the Algeria game, because it's a very, very crucial and deciding game for us, Zambia. And for our viewers, you can also contribute by calling in and giving in your view to how you feel like, is the provisional squad that Micho selected okay, or if it's not okay, and if you have any suggestions on who you feel like should have been included, you can give us that call. Augustine, away from that, let's look at the midweek games that we have played. That's in our first Super Division week 20.
Yeah, and
we saw a lot of disappointments.
And just before we go into the Super League, a special mention of the under-17. They arrived safely in Rabat ahead of the National Junior Championship, which is coming up in Morocco. We are playing against the hosts. It's a very, very tricky group. But before we start the tournament, Zambia will play 3 games in a mini tournament. We will play Nigeria, Rabat, and Cameroon. It's a very, very good start for the boys if they can get exposed to international friendlies before they go into the tournament. You remember when we had the invitational tournament in Croatia, we talked about how these boys will go there and gain experience. The likes of Sabobo Banda were part of that tournament, and now they'll be going into this junior tournament with a little bit of experience, having experienced it at that international level. We have got a good number of players from the under-15 with George Chilufya selected for this coming tournament. We saw before their departure Sabobo Banda promising to say he's targeting the golden boot. How do you see the energy towards that young lad? He's a very ambitious boy. He's very quick, he's very skillful, and he's got an eye for goal. You never see John Sabobo Banda come out of the game without testing the goalkeeper. That's what he wants. He wants to score goals. He's a striker. That's what strikers are made up of. They just want to score goals. They don't want to play well. They just want to score goals. And he's one of those strikers whom, in the near future, 3-4 years from now, we'll be looking at in terms of the senior Chipolo boys proper setup. He's a very, very good lad, and this might be his best platform for him to just start his career. Anyway, before we come into the games that were played along the week, we'll just take a very short break, and we'll be right back on the other side.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +2609 53 995 099 or +2609 62 444 726 or +2609 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Yes, you are glued to Camnet TV, which is not just another channel, and we are giving you the best in terms of highlights, in terms of sports. Augustine, before we take a look at the midweek games that took place, let's maybe do a quick one on Ghana's trip to Egypt. They are going to face Pyramids FC. That's on Wednesday.
Yeah, they are going away to face Pyramid in Ghana. They have had the results haven't been going their way in the Super League after they qualify into the group stages. I think that will be it will be difficult for Kelvin Kaindo to boost the morale in camp of these players because they have lost two big games against local rivals Power Dynamos and against Kawe Warriors in midweek. And now going into continental football, now this is the journey of the start of the journey into these group stages. It's very, very tricky going away into North Africa against Pyramids. You saw they eliminated Zanaco the last time they came in to play the Zambian team. What Ghana needs to do is just go out there, be very solid, and try to hit them on a counter, because probably in North Africa they will dominate the ball more. They will attack us. They will attack left, right, and center. Ghana need to be very, very solid, and they need to work very hard as a team to get a result away in Egypt. I think, truth be told, it's very, very difficult to see where Ghana will get a result from. But if they get a point, it will be a bonus. But I fancy the Egyptians to carry the day.
And NAPSA.
Another tricky away fixture for NAPSA Stars. NAPSA Stars have never been in this situation. It's the first time for the football club. It's probably the first time for the players and the coach, because the only experienced player we may say in that team is David Odiambo, has been in this situation. Emmanuel Mayuka has been in this situation for Zamalek. But for the rest of that NAPSA Stars team, it's the very first time as they are approaching this kind of situation, and you can see the inexperience in certain games, the way they defend, the way they give away chances. That's why you can see that NAPSA Stars are newcomers into this game, because the game against Goma here, they were just seconds away from being eliminated, and you saw the calmness of Emmanuel Mayuka, took the spot kick and sent them into the group. What NAPSA Stars need to do there, you do not go to North Africa and try and attack the game. Just be very solid, let them have possession, guard your territory very, very well. Do not defend inside your box. Defend away from your box. Do not allow the North African teams space in wide areas, because that's where they will like to exploit us. They will push the ball into these wide areas and put in crosses. It's very, very difficult to defend crosses when they come into the box, because physically they are bigger than us, and they are much stronger, these North Africans. So what do? You close the channels. Do not allow balls placed into 18-yard area. But there will be situations whereby those crosses will come in eventually into the box. What needs to do is the two central defenders need to stand strong. They need to attack that ball and defend it away from their box. There is no loose marking in the box when you are playing continental football. You are always tight. NAPSA Stars should try and hope for a counter-attack, set piece, take advantage of set pieces, because we have been very, very wasteful when it comes to set pieces. We may have 15 corners in a game and not convert from any, and it's different when you're playing this North African side. When they have got those set pieces, you can see what happened to Nkana when they went to TAS Casablanca. They conceded through set pieces. So these guys will pay a lot of attention to these set pieces, and we need to defend set pieces very well, and we need to attack set pieces, because that's the only chance we have to getting a goal in North Africa. And I think NAPSA Stars also do not stand a chance of getting 3 points in North Africa.
We're just wishing the two teams all the best as they start their journey into the Confederation Group. And let's look at how these two teams are faring in terms of our local games. That's the FAS MTN Super Division League. We saw Nkana. I'll start with Nkana. We saw a disappointing result that Nkana gave.
I think it was very, very poor, coming from a derby loss against Power Dynamos, which I felt Power Dynamos were the better side. Nkana were outplayed. They were outthought by Power Dynamos. And going into the Kawa Warriors game, you've thought this is a game where they will bounce back, as Nkana, because the reverse fixture, they won it 1-0 at the Railway Stadium. But having said that, I think Kawa Warriors will feel like justice has been done, because they were the better side in Kawa. They missed clear-cut chances. They put Nkana under pressure. It took a moment of brilliance from Idris Mbombo, individual brilliance, to win the game for Nkana. And going at home at Chilata, you always feel Nkana will always be favorized playing at home. But it wasn't to be. Clement Mundia and Prince Mumba got the goals for Kawa Warriors. A Kawa Warriors side which is also consistently inconsistent, because these guys, they'll pull out such big results against Nkana, Zesco. Then you see the next game, what do? They drop points. That has been the trend at Kawa Warriors. If they can just keep this going, keep a good run, 5 games on a winning streak, they'll be knocking on those continental places. Kawa Warriors, they have been close to continental football in recent years. You remember in the transition, they just needed to beat Red Arrows on the final day to qualify for continental football, and they missed that. This season, they have qualified for the APSA Cup. Now their next push should try and get into these continental places.
Let's look at NAPSA. We saw NAPSA being beaten by Young Green Eagles. The Young Green Eagles that we've always been appreciating, the way they play their game style, they are swift. But did you expect such a result, 3-1?
It was a shocker, really, looking at the results. NAPSA Stars traveling to Kafue to play Young Green Eagles, which the game was supposed to be played on a Wednesday, but the pitch wasn't in good condition on Wednesday. They moved it to Thursday, and the Green Eagles got their pitch in good shape for that encounter, and they had their tactics spot on the day. They beat NAPSA Stars by 3-1, a continental representative for that matter. Who would have thought Green Eagles would get 4 points away from NAPSA this season? They came here in Lusaka and drew 0-0 at Woodland Stadium. And when they go, one thing I've liked about this Young Green Eagles side is they're making their home ground fortress. Zesco United have gone there and they fall. GBFC visited them and they got beat as well. Forest Rangers went and dropped 2 points. You can see, if you want to stay up in the Super League, you have to make your home ground fortress. They are very, very difficult side to break down. They are very solid. They defend as a team. Then they rely on set pieces. They are left back very, very good on set pieces, and punished NAPSA Stars from one of the set pieces to go in front 1-0. And it's really good for sides that come up in the Super League. They just do not go down like that. They go down with a fight. You can see young Green Eagles, they're fighting for their lives, and it's good. They're joint points on with NAPSA Stars. NAPSA Stars are out of a relegation zone just because of better goal difference. So NAPSA Stars and Nkana.
Maybe let's just look at the table. Let's look at the table and see how our two teams are faring as they head into their CAF Confederation.
Yeah, as you can see, NAPSA Stars and Nkana in those relegation waters. And credit to Bwezanimbere for the table. You can see NAPSA Stars, it's only goal difference which is keeping them away from that relegation zone. Before they know it, NAPSA Stars and Ghana will be in big trouble fighting relegation, and it would happen at the same time when they get eliminated in the group stages, and then they find themselves in such a very bad situation fighting relegation, and you do not go into a relegation fight when the confidence is down. You have been eliminated from continental football. These guys should pay attention to the league. Put in efforts, the same effort they're putting in continental football, they should put in the same effort in the league, because at the end of the day, your league is the bread and butter. It's the reason why you are playing continental football. So if they are getting it wrong in the league, very soon we may see NAPSA Stars and Ghana deep in those relegation waters.
Let's look at the fight between Zesco United and Zanaco.
It's very tight. You can see every week we have got a new leader. Zesco United, Zanaco, they just keep exchanging those two positions. But you can see one of those, the most disappointing team in this title race has been Lusaka Dynamos. A lot of people tipped Lusaka Dynamos to challenge for continental football, to challenge for that title. But you can see they are failing off each and every week. That they fail to beat Forest Rangers at home, getting beat by 3-0. For a team which is trying to qualify for continental football, you cannot be beaten by a team who just close to you by 3-0. Lusaka Dynamos went into the transfer market, bought whoever they can buy, but still they cannot just get it right. I personally felt a lot of people hyped Lusaka Dynamos and thinking these guys will be very difficult.
The way they've invested in the team.
But if you look at the investments, the way they have been done, I think they were not strategic. They went and got almost every big name which was out there, but will those players play together? Will there be any gelling? That was the most interesting part we wanted to see with Lusaka Dynamos. But you can see there's no consistency. There's no identity of what this club wants to do, the philosophy, the style of play. It's against Lusaka Dynamos, because I've been part of Lusaka Dynamos for a couple of years. I was part of their youth setup, and if you see the way this club is being run right now, this is not the way Lusaka Dynamos used to play football. Lusaka Dynamos used to be a very entertaining side, playing attacking football. They are called elite, fearless. They were very fearless, Lusaka Dynamos, but you could see this side, the guys who play for Lusaka Dynamos, they do not have the heart, because these guys are being paid. Unlike the Lusaka Dynamos of 20, yeah, those guys used to struggle for winning bonuses. They never got paid training, no proper training allowance. They never even had the team bus, but they used to get results because they had that passion, that heart. Lusaka Dynamos would go into these compounds and pick players, go into academies, Chiparamba, K-Stars, and big players would come and compete at the highest level for Lusaka Dynamos. We went in 2008, the last trophy that the club won. They won the Mosi Cup, beating Zesco United by 1-0. The goal which was scored by Josephat Nkoma at Nchanga Stadium. You could see a very youthful Lusaka Dynamos. It had William Munjovi, Chani Monde. Those who came from Chiparamba. Stanley Shimbi came through the ranks at Lusaka Dynamos. They had Chipeta. It was a very good Lusaka Dynamos. They were very united, played as a team. They had the heart for the football club. But if you see these guys who are at Lusaka Dynamos, I do not think they have what it takes to take this club to the next level.
I know you've said it already. Lusaka Dynamos were beaten by Forest Rangers. That's by 3-0.
Yes.
But let's look at another disappointing fixture. Maybe it was the big spenders against, I don't know, for me I would say the powerhouse now. We saw Beautycon beating Power Dynamos by 2-1. The Power Dynamos that we've seen with a lot of pressure, the Power Dynamos that has been revamped.
I think you never know which Power Dynamo side will turn up really. Is it the team that gets beat by Lusaka Dynamos? the team that gets beat by Beautycon, or the team which went and beat Power Ghana 3-0. You just never know with this Power Dynamo setup, because they are very, very inconsistent. If there's one club which has been very, very inconsistent for more than 5-6 years, it's Power Dynamos. Every time you think this side is just 2-3 signings away from challenging for the title, but they do not do that, then they start going backwards as well again. Power Dynamos. After that Ghana winner would have thought Power Dynamos would have wanted to extend their form and beat Beautycon, who have struggled in the last 3-4 weeks. Beautycon and Power Dynamos didn't take advantage of Beautycon. I must say, poor goalkeeping by Jack Kakunta for the second goal. That was very, very poor for a player who has played at international level for the national team, and has been given chance, to be fair, by Perry Mutapa, because he made a couple of errors against Lusaka Dynamos. The coach kept faith in him. It was a very simple free kick from Owusu, very, very far away. Jaka Kunta saw the way the ball was coming, he would have made a decision whether to parry it or catch the ball, but he made a big mess of it, and Power Dynamos lost a game through it in the 90th minute goal from Owusu from a set pitch, which was very, very far away. Jaka Kunta should not have considered such a goal. It's very, very unacceptable, a player of his standards, to concede such goals. And looking at Beautycon, it's a booster for them. It took them into the last continental place, number 4, on 31 points, but they need to keep winning so that them and the chasing pack, there's a very, very big gap, because it's very, very tight from number 1 to number 8, I must say.
We've seen people going crazy on social media saying, what's with these guys who played part in the 2012 AFCON winning. When I say this, I mean Emmanuel Mayuka and James Jemba Chamanga. We've seen how Chamanga has been saving arrows of late, and we saw him coming to the occasion as they managed to beat Prison Lepers by 1-0. How is his motivation to the squad?
He's a very, very big impact, James Chamanga, in that Red Arrows setup. Whenever you talk to any Red Arrows player, they say they always look up to James Chamanga. The way he trains hard. He's a leader on and off the field of play. He helps these young players to try and get better. You would see Red Arrows started the season very, very poorly there. I must say they struggled at first, but they've managed to find their rhythm. One thing that I've noticed about this Red Arrows side is now they're playing to James Chamanga's strength, because now they are playing energetic players in and around him, players with a little bit of pace that will give Chamanga a lot of chances to score. They have got a set of players who run, work hard for the team and create goals for James Chamanga, those scoring opportunities, and it's taking James Chamanga, we must say. And the inclusion of Muiza Siwale on the left, who came from Kafue Celtic, has proved to be very, very vital for Arrows. He's running the channels very, very well, creating chances. Yusuf Saddam Piri, he's rediscovered himself. He's making those runs into the box, trying to support James Chamanga. Now you do not see James Chamanga coming deep to try and get the ball and influence play. He's just playing in the final third on the last order of the defenders, and he has got confidence in the players who are playing behind him to create chances for him. And this has seen Red Arrows now get closer into the top 4 than to the relegation zone. James Chamanga, big inspiration for young players. Last 2 seasons, last season he scored 16 goals. This season he scored 7 goals already. You can see there's consistency. He can score goals and try and help the team. This is one thing young lads need to learn from a big player like Jemba.
Anyway, let's just take a look at the fixture that we have for this weekend. We've got week 21 games that are being played today. That's Quito United versus Green Eagles, which is at Garden Park Stadium. And then we've got Green Buffaloes versus Nkwazi. It's at Ngoloma Stadium and it's live. Let's look at this encounter. That's Nkwazi versus Green Buffaloes. We've seen a Green Buffaloes team that has been struggling in and out, but we saw them giving in a very good performance over the midweek game where they managed to beat Green Eagles by 3-1.
Yeah, it's a battle of the men in uniform. It was they had mixed results in midweek. GBFC going to Choma and winning by 3-0. Nkwazi losing at the same venue when they hosted Zanaco by 2-0. I think Nkwazi considered a very, very early goal. Boyd Msonda putting Zanaco in front in the first 2 minutes, and they considered a very late goal with the birthday boy Abrams Yankombo has been called to the national team, getting the goal. GBFC went to a very, very tricky independent stadium in Choma. Not all teams go there and come out with 3 points. It was very, very impressive. David Sakala scored an early goal for GBFC. Friday Samu scored the second, and Obrichela, who has been fantastic, I must say, when he returned from injury, he's tried to push this GBFC side going forward, and they conceded through Anos Tembo, who scored the only goal for Young Green Eagles. But now what's important is for GBFC, and both for GBFC and Nkwazi, to try and push as high up the table as possible, because they are not far away from the relegation zone. So they need to put points on the board so that they can try and stay safe, and now start being ambitious and start challenging for those continental places. And coming to this Nkwazi side, this Nkwazi side, which is very, very difficult to break down. They just last week, they were probably the best defense in the league alongside Zesco United and Power Dynamos. They had conceded 13 goals, but now they have conceded 15 goals. Nkwazi, the only undoing part is that they cannot score goals. That's the only undoing part for this Nkwazi side. They have tried to spread the goals around the team, but it's just not enough. They need goals that will push them to a much safer place, because last season they were fighting relegation. And I was surprised for Makinga to have come out last season to say, now our aim is to try and challenge for those continental places. You cannot challenge for continental places if you are not safe yet. Try and stay away from that relegation zone, and then you start challenging for continental places. But Nkwazi, GBFC, these are teams which do not invest heavily in the transfer market. And you can see now this is the reason why these teams are struggling, because they have done bad business in recent years. You look at teams around them, they have been spending, bringing in the right players. A good example is Forest Rangers. Every season they get the right investments into the club, and they keep going forward. But with these football clubs, they're just still, they're not moving forward. And teams now around them, they're moving forward. This is a very, very interesting encounter today at Nkoloma Stadium, Lusaka Derby. But I fancy GBFC to carry the day, because Nkwazi Football Club, they do not have the goals, like I said. If they score early, it will be good for them, because they are very, very solid. Pride Mansa made some errors in the game against Zanaco. He's one of those players you see face on the Nkwazi team sheet. Steven Mutama had a very, very good start to the season, but things are not going very, very well for Nkwazi. We just we hope to see goals, because probably this game will produce 2 goals or less, but we just hope to see goals.
Let's look tomorrow, Sunday the 7th. We've got Power Dynamos hosting Red Arrows. That's at the Arthur Davis Stadium. And we've got Forest Rangers, who are hosting Young Green Eagles that's at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. We've got Lumana Radiance versus Lusaka Dynamos. That's at Independence Stadium. And then we've got Prison Leopards versus Indeni at the Godfrey Chitaru Stadium. That will be also live. And then we've got Kawe Warriors versus Zesco United. And we've got games that will be played on Wednesday the 10th. That's Power Dynamos versus Prison Leopards. And postponed game, the games that are being postponed are Napsa Stars versus Bujikon and Zanaco versus Nkana. Looking at the fixtures that are being played tomorrow, Augustine, I think we've got a very, very good encounter. That's between Power Dynamos and Red Arrows.
Yeah, these are probably 2 of the best passing teams in Zambian League. It will be a beautiful watch, Power Dynamos against Red Arrows. But I must say, going into this encounter, Power Dynamos are huge favorites, because Red Arrows, the last 10 visits to Arthur Davis Stadium, the best they have come out with is a draw. They've only won 1 game in the last 10 games, and that's very, very worrying for Airman. But having said that, the confidence that they'll come out, go to Arthur Davis with that only win came in the previous encounter when they met at Arthur Davis Stadium, and it was James Shamanga who won it for Arrows. And
so it's brother against brother.
Yes, Red Arrows are on number 7.
Let's just bring up the
difference
table
between Power Dynamos and Red Arrows is 4 points. So what do Red Arrows need to do? They just need to keep Power Dynamos away from them, because Power Dynamos 9th, Red Arrows in 8th. They should not allow Power Dynamos to get closer to them. Red Arrows, even a draw would be very, very good for the Airmen to just keep Power Dynamos, to just keep maintain that 4 points difference between them and Power Dynamos. Power Dynamos at the side who really, really needs this encounter. You can see the form table in the last 6 games for both Red Arrows and Power Dynamos. Arrows have managed to pick 13 points, 4 wins and a draw, 1 loss, and Power Dynamos, they've only managed 1 win in last 6 games. That's very, very worrying for Perry Mutapa and these boys. I think this game in recent years has always been decided by the team which starts strong. Whoever starts strong at the Davis Stadium between Power Dynamos and Red Arrows, I believe, will carry the day.
Okay, like all in all, let's just look at the way the table is. It's very tricky, it's very tight. Points are being, maybe there is a very, very small gap. How is it challenging? How is the title challenging for this season?
I think one thing I've realized about this season, there are no easy games. Every team is very, very well planned. They plan very well. They are very, very well focused and very well drilled by their coaches. And you can see most of the teams, we haven't seen 6 wins in a row. It's not happening this season. We can have teams get 4 wins, 3 wins in a row, but they do not go beyond 6 games just winning. It's very, very tough, both top and bottom. You do not know who will win the title. You do not know who will qualify for continental football, and we don't know who will be relegated because it's very, very tight. A lot of teams are taking advantage of home ground advantage. They are winning games. A good example is Young Green Eagles. It's the reason why they keep fighting. They are made their home ground a fortress. In days gone by, games would be won on paper. We'd see, okay, this game, Zesco United will win, Zanaco will win, but it's different. A team like Zanaco, who are second, they have only managed 2 wins away from home, which is very, very worrying for a team which is trying to challenge for the title and qualify for continental football. And big disappointments this season have been Romana Radiance, really. I think they lack goals in the team. They do not keep a clean sheet. They're always conceding, which has got them in very, very big problems, and now they find themselves in those relegation waters. It's going to be very, very tricky coming out of there. Now they host a Lusaka Dynamos. This is the time to take advantage. Lusaka Dynamos are not in form, they lack confidence. This is when now you can go at them and try and put them under pressure as early as possible. Zesco United coming to Kawe facing a very, very unpredictable Kawe Warriors. I must say, you do not know the Kawe Warriors which you turn up, because sometimes Warriors are found it difficult playing at home. There's always that pressure, but they have got players that can win them games. They've got match winners in that team in Akakulu Belwa, Jimmy Bereki and Twiza Chaibera. Teams would dream to have such a striking force, because these guys have got the pace, they've got the skill, and they've got the goals in them. Playing against Zesco United, who under Numba Mumamba, a lot of doubt was surrounding Numba Mumba's appointment at Zesco United, but we can see how good he has done at Zesco United. He's transformed this team. He's giving chance to the young players. A lot of Zambian players now, we are seeing them play. Solomon Sakala is now seeing game time. John Chishimba is seeing game time. Chanda Mukuka from Gomes is coming and he settled very well. He's playing very good. And I must say, probably the player of the season so far, Zesco United, Dinok Sakala Jr., who would have thought a young lad like him would be playing so very well for a big club.
Let's just pick this call, Garsin. Pick the call.
Good afternoon. You are through to Off the Pitch here on Cabinet TV.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, your contribution and where you are calling us from?
I'm calling you from Kawa. This is Womba.
Womba, hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and I want my jersey.
Uncle Rapson has gone to source out for the jersey. He will be back on set next week. He will deliver the jersey surely.
Was this last year? Okay, for my contribution, I think Micho has actually put up a very good squad, even though I'm not very confident with the goalkeeping department.
Okay.
Looking at these goalkeepers, how much will give us chance?
Which goalkeeper do you have confidence in?
Maybe in Zambia, I was sure.
Why are you so doubtful?
He still has that chance, you guys.
Okay. That's a good point.
It's a good squad. No complaints.
Okay, thank you very much for coming through.
All right, you're welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I was saying about Zesco United, they look at force now. They have managed to put 3-4 wins together, and going into Kao, it's a very, very tricky place to go to. It's not easy. It's not a given that they'll come out with 3 points, but we've seen teams like Zanaco go there and pick out 3 points. Nkana have also gone there and pick out 3 points, but for Zesco United, away from they lost in Kafue when nobody expected them. They can do the same at Warriors if they do not get their plan right. But with the inform Enoch Sakala, it's very, very interesting to see how the game will pan out tomorrow.
And we'll just take a very short break as we come back and look at the ups and downs that we have made, and to just wrap up the show, we'll just take a very short break and we'll be right back. Anyway, Augustine, just a quick one before we take a look at other games that are being played that's around or across Europe. The ups and downs that we have made. There is Zesco, who was drawn against Kansenshi Dynamo, Zanaco versus Kawe Warriors, and then LD versus Prison Leopards, and then we've got Forest Rangers versus Kongola Blades. These are the draws and how the games are going to be played, but we'll look into depth in terms of these games next week. But let's look at the derbies that are being played. We've got the Manchester derby coming on, we've got the Madrid derby coming on, and then we've got, I don't know, there are a lot of derbies. Which one excites you, Augustine?
I think both derbies are very, very key to how the season will pan out. First, the Manchester derby, a Manchester United side which has shown that they do not have it in them to win the league title. That's why they've dropped from the time they were on number 1 in January. They've managed 3 wins in the last 10. You could see now that this side does not have what it takes to win the league title. And now if United look behind them, there's a Chelsea side who are very, very good and look to be knocking on those Champions League doors. And it's very, very tricky going into the Manchester derby. They say form is thrown out at the window, but City have been unstoppable. The likes of Kelvin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Ikai Gundogan. They are playing very, very good football. And what we expect to see tomorrow is a Manchester United side which will try and sit back and try to hit City on the counter, which will be very, very dangerous game, because City, I think the most interesting selection from Manchester City is who starts between Rodri and Fernandinho. I think they'll start with Fernandinho because the fear of the counter-attacks. Because I'm very, very positive, Solskjaer will start with Daniel James and Rashford in the flanks so that they can try and hit City on the counter. But what City will do is that they'll try and play for 4-3-3, so that whenever they are in position, the two wide players in Mahrez, Sterling or Bernardo Silva, whoever will be playing, those wide players will try and play narrow so that they allow the fullbacks in Zinchenko, Mendy, Kyle Walker or João Cancelo to push up the field, and so that they can create those attacking overloads on Manchester United. And I think City will be favourites going into this encounter. I do not see them dropping points anytime soon. And in the Madrid derby, Real Madrid, they cannot create chances. They cannot create chances. Real Madrid, they have been very, very poor, I must say, in recent weeks. Failing to kill off Real Sociedad at home, that was very, very worrying. They are playing a very against the Diego Simeone side, who are happy to let them have the ball and defend very, very deep and try and get a goal on set pieces or on the counter. A draw would be very, very good for Atletico Madrid to maintain that distance between them and their closest rivals in Real Madrid and Barcelona. But in derbies, we've always seen Atletico have always come up short in this derby. Real Madrid have always dominated this derby with Toni Kroos in midfield. I expect Real Madrid to be victorious.
Let's look at the Bayern versus Dortmund, which is a very, very big game as well.
Very, very big game in the Bundesliga. Bayern dropped points a couple of weeks ago. They are facing a Dortmund side. You do not know what to expect from Dortmund. They have got exciting youngsters in Reina, Sancho, Erling Brandt Haaland, but they do not have the experience. Bayern have it all. They've got the experience, they've got the youth, they've got the speed, they've got the skill. I think Bayern will be very, very too strong for Borussia Dortmund in this encounter as well.
Due to time, Augustine, your final remarks.
I think a big thanks to all the viewers out there who tuned in to watch the show. It's been an amazing show, and I must wish my mother, my sisters, and all the women out there happy Women's Day in advance. Women's play a very, very big role in the society. Our director there, it's very, very interesting. I think thumbs up to all the women out there, and thanks for watching.
Big ups to all the women out there who will be celebrating Women's Day, and to the youths who will be celebrating the Youth Day, that's on the 12th. And just like Augustine said, it's been a great show, and thanks to our director, Madam Precious Mzia Sakaleji, not forgetting Isaac upstairs, who has been doing a great job for us to be on air right now, and Ango Robson for going to cover the Ghana versus Pyramid game. But all the same, we say bye-bye and see you next weekend. Yeah, ciao. Enjoy the long weekend which is coming.